Martinva, morning. I'm going to take us on a wee walk today in a place called the Sma Glen. It's a glen that I have driven through many times, and I've walked in it once, and I've never been up this bit. It's very beautiful. It's called the Sma Glen, meaning small glen. As you can perhaps see, it's quite narrow and quite steep. It's a place we cut through sometimes on the Jamie and Claire too. We come through on the vehicles if we can. It's a wee bit of a detour, but it's well worth it because it's very beautiful. It's not a place we go walking because you need to have pretty strong legs to get up and down the hills here. But I'll show you some of the features and sights and interest of the glen as we go along today. That'd be Scottish black-faced sheep hiding in amongst the ferns. In the distance there you see the General Wade's Road, built 1730, military road, snaking up through the glen. Right in front of us here in a sort of palish green, that's blaeberry. It's a kind of blueberry, a Scottish blueberry, very sweet. It's not yet even in flower this time of the year, never mind fruit. And the river and the glen floor, and then at the foot of the hills over there there's a light coloured road. It's a track, and it follows the line of an old drove road where the cattle used to be driven from the north ahead of us there, bringing down towards us, heading south down to the markets of Crieff. And down there in the glen floor, a rather remote little settlement, Newton or Newtown. You can see there's a circular sheep fank there, circular wall for the fattening in of the sheep, the collecting of the sheep. The new town, as it's called, because the old town was further to the left up the glen, and I've been there. It's just an empty township of a few derelict houses, maybe 4 or so, and they moved here. I'm not sure why, maybe to be closer to this General Wade's Road for access out in the 1700s. However steep and unclimbable a hill, there will always have been deer there before you. I do love these slabs of rock that have tumbled down the hill. And a line here. That's the line I'm going to follow to climb up. It's making quite a war cry for some reason. I guess I must be close to its nest. This is a wee rock with a small overhang, underneath of which is a brown patch of soil. Can you see that? Which tells me sheep has been using this to sleep in. And here's the evidence: sheep's wool on the rock and on the bracken. A little bed of a sheep to shelter from the rain and the wind and the snow and the hail. Not that we get any of that. Found a little patch of bluebells here, which kind of implies that this was once a forest. Although now the hillside is very bare of everything but the odd rowan tree and a couple of tiny scrub willows. We call these wild hyacinths. The English call them bluebells. We have a different plant we call a bluebell. So if you're going to come to Scotland, please do. You can travel on your own and you will enjoy it because Scotland is beautiful. Or, if you want, get yourself a local guide. Why? Well, a guide can read the landscape. So not all green stuff is all the same. As you're walking up a hill, a guide can see the history of the hill, can tell the story of the hill because of what he or she sees in the landscape. The bed of the sheep and so on, different plants that tell you that something has been here before. So I think it's worth doing that. When I travel, I tend to get a local guide, and I always end up with 300% more out of my visit than I would have done on my own with a wee guidebook. Enjoy Scotland.